Today on Off the Hinges, relax, pour yourself a drink, and unwind from your week as I answer your questions and share stories about this week's trade. I'm joined by a special guest, and I have my whiskey in hand. I'm so glad you made it. Are you ready? Let's slide into the vault. Welcome to Friday. Welcome to you parents out there to the other side of Christmas with little kids. Cheers to you. I do have a whiskey today, and it's in the form of an Irish coffee. And man, it's hitting the spot. We had such a great Christmas together. I hope yours was filled with love and laughter and hopefully a little bit of rest and maybe a dash of crazy, because ours sure was. So cheers to all of you. I'm so glad you're here. Today, we're going to explore gratitude, but it's going to look a little different. Usually we have one guest, and I am going to take us on a journey back through my favorite moments from Off the Hinges with all of our guests from this past year. I'm going to read them off really quick, and I didn't lie to you. We are going to have my three little girls at the end of this episode, and I asked them what they are most thankful for as they think back on this entire year. And man, I don't know what we're going to get. I promise you, whatever they say, aside from the question, it's unprompted. I didn't plant any seeds. So whatever they give us, including my 2-year-old, is what we get. And I won't change it. I won't edit it. You're going to get it first cut. So if you want to roll that crapshoot with me, hang around for a few minutes. But before we go there, I do want to say I'm so thankful for each of you. I'm thankful for my family, my friends in this community that we have together. And I'm so glad you showed up today, because we're going to do a little flashback and dive into my favorite highlights from this past year's episodes. Let me read off who our guests were again, just to remind you about the virtues and the guests that we have had and that have blessed you with their life and with their gifts since August. So here's who we had. We had humility with Garita Coddington, identity with Ray Kennedy, resilience with my one and only bride, Laura, teamwork with Fred Hill, love with John Epps, perseverance with Stacy Gedeon, perspective with Diana Stepner, social intelligence with Brandon Gibson, leadership with Katie Hurtado, and connection with Cassie O'Malley, which led us into this holiday season. And like I told you, yes, you will get my three maniacs talking about gratitude and what they are most thankful for at the end of this. But before we dive into those uncharted waters, let's flash back to this past year. All right, you ready?
Hey, yeah.
First one, in the past week, reflecting back at the end of this week now, what are you the most thankful for?
Well, we had a hurricane here in Bermuda, Ernesto. So for this week, I'm just thankful for life, have a roof over my head, for just being able to survive it. We had no incidents, no deaths, no accidents. So I'm just thankful for survival.
Hey, that's big time. I always ask everybody these three questions. So the first one is, since the last time we talked until now, what are you the most thankful for?
Wow, that's a good question. So this past weekend, my two brothers and I do a event each year to celebrate my father who passed away about 20 years ago. And we get about 25 to 30 guys each year. And it's a chance to reconnect, have some competition, maybe drink a couple of beers, and tell a lot of stories about my dad. So that was this weekend, and very thankful for that.
So first question, what are you thankful for this week?
I think I'm most thankful for the fact that especially our older two have done such a good job adapting to a new schedule. That Arya also started playing soccer this week, and she does not speak Norwegian like Alessia does, but she tends to just jump right into those groups and make friends, even if there might be a small language barrier, and never seems to bother her for more than a couple of minutes.
And by the way, it's called soccer. Be resilient, be strong. Don't give in. It's not football, it's soccer. Don't waver. Thank you.
It is football here.
But it's still soccer. Okay.
But I'm a believer. I'm a man of faith. I'm a father. I'm a husband. I'm a brother. I'm a friend. That's who I am. And I try to be the most authentic and truthful person that I can be to myself and to others. That's who I am.
What are you most thankful for this week?
Yeah. I'm going to cheat a little bit, and I'm going to give slightly two answers. I know it's not necessarily what you probably want, but I'm still going to go for it.
Hey, today's all about you and the listeners, man. So you answer however you want, because I can edit away whatever I want.
There you go. Number one, I'm going to say life. I have never in my life been more grateful for life than after losing my mom last year. And I realized how much of a privilege it is to wake up every morning. Number one, hands down.
Yes, sir.
But number two leans into more of what you kind of stole it from me a little bit, dude. It's you. And I genuinely mean this. This is not a kiss up moment. One word that I've been using a lot this year is intentionality. And the one thing that I'm thankful for is your intentionality with retaining our relationship. I can't think of a time that either we have been in the same vicinity that you have reached out. Either it's been a quick lunch, a dinner, a quick visit. It didn't matter what it was. Even through the COVID years, we were doing the Bible studies and stuff together. You continue to persist. And I think what's even more appreciative that I am thankful for is that you never judged me when there were lapses of time in between some of our conversations. It always felt like we could just pick up and just keep going. So I am thankful for you, my friend.
Number one, what are you most thankful for this week?
Because here we are in this space right now, you asked me to do this recently. And as I reflected on this, I thought to myself, I'm most thankful for challenge. And although most might not think that having a conversation with a friend is a challenge, but I took it as a challenge, a good challenge, a challenge that, when a friend asks you to step up, you want to step up. And you are my friend, you are my brother. And so I took it seriously. And as I was looking back on my week in terms of me doing some reflection or me doing some research on what love is and what does John Epps feel about love, and maybe some times in my history and my career where this mattered a lot, I was thankful to have that challenge because through that reflection, I've discovered more about myself. So this week, I'm thankful for challenge.
Per the usual, question number one, what are you thankful for this week?
I am very thankful for the weather we have been having. So in northern Michigan, it could be a foot of snow this time of year. We've had sunshine, beautiful weather. So very thankful that the nice weather is extending for a change. That is wonderful.
I like it.
What are you thankful for this week?
Yeah, so for me, it may sound kind of, cheesy, but for me, it's always my clients. And so I have a client who I met through a mentoring platform and was helping him, and he got a new job. And so we were catching up and just, touching base on how he can, continue to develop. And he's like, I want you to know that I signed up for a mentoring program so I could mentor others. He's like, you helped me so much. I want to give back. And so that to me was like, oh my God, heartbreaking, all of that stuff. So when I see the people that I work with want to give back because they've been encouraged by what, we've partnered on together. So that to me is really, what I'm thankful for.
But before we dive in, off the top with these three questions, the first one, what are you thankful for this week?
Without a doubt, without even question, it's my family. That's easy, simple. I mean, we've talked about this so many times in so many ways. I think some people are made to be family people, family men, that kind of thing. And I think some people it's just not their gig. But for me, it's what I've always wanted.
Dude, you crush it. It's I've known you for a while, and it's seeing you as a family guy. Now I'm gonna have Family Guy songs stuck in my head. I just did that to
Being a
myself.
family guy. Yep.
Yeah. Okay, we're gonna dive right in, but I know you've seen some of these. So before we jump into our listeners' questions, which are very, very good this week, off the top, what are you thankful for this week?
Yeah, thanks, Josh, for that question. I am grateful for this space this week. It's a gift to be in conversation with others who prioritize leadership and thinking about leadership, grappling with the concept and thinking through it. So I wake up every day with a new opportunity to engage with the world and impact and influence people. And it's weeks like this where I have a leadership mentoring session, conversation with others in a meetup, this conversation, I get to flex my leadership muscles at work, a new coaching client, us recording tonight, weeks that I feel so fulfilled and lucky to be in the space that I'm in with the people that I'm in it with. So that is off the top what I'm most grateful for as we go into this evening.
Just for the listeners, we agreed upon that if I get a golden retriever or maybe two, then I could adopt your daughters because then they wanted to come to me. So
yeah, the conversation sounded a little bit more like kidnapping because you said I will just come get you in the morning, yes. And they were happy to leave me for Elizabeth and a dog or two.
Yes.
Yeah, so you might have bribed my children away from me, but okay. Yeah. So first of all, what are you thankful for this week?
If you had sent me this question last week, I would probably search in my pocket for an answer.
Okay.
But 2 days ago, my youngest son, Shu, called me. And he is the one of my 3 children that is very introvert.
Okay.
So when he called, he asked how I was doing, and I asked him how he was doing. And I was just patient because I knew that he will come to the reason why he's calling me.
Yeah.
And then he said, Mom, the reason why I'm calling you is that I have never thanked you for raising me and giving me such a great childhood.
Oh, wow.
And he continued, and I was like, wow, I didn't expect that. So when he said, I want to thank you for raising me, I said, you're welcome. Because I was taken by surprise. And then he said, yeah, and you created so many good memories for us. And so that was maybe a little bit long answer for your question, but I'm very grateful that my son called me and told me these words.
But straight out the gates, as always, what are you thankful for this week?
I'm going to go with the girls. They're like ultimate teachers. They're teaching me a lot about myself.
Mm-hmm.
They teach me deep patience and they show
Serenity
me
now.
how I can have multiple tones of voice at one time. Yeah, the girl, I mean, yeah, cliche, but hands down.
So to each of you guests who joined me this past year, my dear friends, my family, I love you guys. I'm so thankful that you joined and that you blessed our listeners with your gifts, with your experience, and just with the encouragement that you offered as we do continue to build a virtuous culture together. Now, as we enter into 2025 and we reflect with gratitude, gratitude is one of those things where, like everything in life, everyone has an opinion, but practically, when you look around, I don't know that we apply it so well. It's easy when things are going well. It's easy when there's plenty, when we're with the ones we love. But what about when sickness strikes? Or there's death all around us? Or there's just a lot of tension? What about when we're around people we don't feel like being around? And maybe a lot of people are around you and they don't feel like being around you. How do you give thanks then? What if there isn't plenty? What if you're struggling? What if you're living paycheck to paycheck? What if you don't know where the next paycheck's coming from? What if you don't know your next best step? It can be very daunting to step into uncertainty, to step into novelty, and to chart those waters. It can scare the hell out of you. And it's really hard in those moments to find gratitude, to give thanks in everything. That's tough. But I hope that you realize the importance of the posture of humility and identity and resilience and teamwork. And that it's not just a cute little quip. There really is some power and some victory through that HIRT model and through the gratitude of a life that is well lived. And thanks for what you've been given, for the people around you, and for the opportunity to take that next best step. We are going to hear from my daughters what they are thankful for, and I can't wait to hear from you and connect. I'm so glad you joined us today. Cheers to you. I hope you had a Merry Christmas, and I hope you have a lovely New Year, entering into all of the opportunities that await in 2025. Karina, can you tell everyone this year, what are you thankful for?
Dita.
That's a great answer. Hey, I love you. To my gingerbread house making extraordinaire, Alessia, tell all of the people this year, what are you most thankful for?
My family and my friends.
It's a great answer. I love you.
Love you.
And to my oldest daughter, my firstborn, Aria, this year, what are you the most thankful for?
My family.
Oh, I love you. Thanks for tuning in to this episode of Off the Hinges. Don't forget to follow Foundational Coaching on your favorite social media platforms. Kick off your Saturday with me tomorrow morning at Coffee and Reflections on Substack, where I'll share my reflections and stories on the weekly virtue. I'm honored to be a part of your story today, and I'm proud of your growth, my friend. I can't wait for our next time together, exploring the vault.